everybody. Welcome back to another voiceover plan with me. So I've kind of alluded to this, but I've been having a super hard time finding the time to film because of the GraphTech F marks running in my office and turning them off. It usually takes me about an hour to film a plan with me. Maybe a little less, maybe 45 minutes, plus the time I'm doing the new release videos. It's become a lot. So I decided to let the cutters run this week while I filmed and just do a voiceover. So I am using the Whale Watch kit, and now that it's a day later when I'm doing the voiceover, I can't even remember the number for it, but I just loved the washi options that Ashley put on here, so I kind of went a little crazy with them. I used two of the thick washies that are on the sampler sheets and one of the thin washies, and you'll see that I end up pulling in another thin washi to mark a couple of span of days. So still in the Erin Condren Hourly. I am not 100% sure how I feel about it. They always look cute, so that's nice. My to-do list have not really been super functional in here, and at one point I end up flipping back to my current week to get these down that I didn't even touch this week. So I'm not sure this planner is actually working well for me, or if I'm just not dedicating enough time to it. Things have been just really chaotic per usual, but I haven't really, I don't know. It's been a struggle for me, but I do have several appointments, things going on this week. So I was like, if for nothing else, it'll be nice to have just a week at a glance for what is happening this week. So this is a kit from before the mid-year reformat. So it has a lot of hearts on it, none of the little circles with the outlines that we have for the July forward kits. So I just use little hearts to put down for my invoices and payrolls. So Lindsay is off on Monday, so I just used like a little one of the individual checkbox and put a heart on top of the checkbox part because I wanted to pull in some of the gray in this kit since I'm using the Zig Clean Dot marker for my to-dos. So yeah, that heart fit perfectly over there, and I'll be able to mark and remind myself that Lindsay is off, so I will be on file corrections for the favor and stationery side of the business. So still using the clear matte for my invoices, and actually they look really good in this planner. Like when I started wanting to do the clear matte for scripts and things, I kind of had the intention that it would be used for those like Hobonichis that have the weird color paper, but they look amazing in this planner. You really can't even tell that it's clear matte, but just cost wise I will switch to white once I have finished that sheet. And since this is a prior to mid-year release kit, I am using just skinny labels to mark my to-dos. I probably could have pulled out the squiggles from my individual sheets, but I was filming this on Friday afternoon and was just trying to get it down before the weekend so that I could feel like I was going into the week ready to go. So anyway, I have plenty of those skinny labels to use since I just do to-dos on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And obviously I am struggling on getting those straight, but what's new there? Okay, so let's speed through the rest of that whole to-do bit. I have no idea why my head is in the frame so many times in this video. I must have bumped I had it set pretty well to where I couldn't physically do that, but anyway, sorry, there's my hair. I didn't really love using these labels. It worked. It totally separates the to-dos visually from the rest of the page, but I ended up finding some little clipboard icons further in and adding those. It did make me feel a little bit better about it, but yeah, so it is what it is. You can always make things work with what you have. Okay, so time to get some of the other things down. I have a dentist appointment at 12 p.m. on Thursday. I actually have never been so excited for a dentist appointment. So if you've been around for a while, you knew I did Invisalign several years ago, and once my treatment was complete about a year ago, they told me they were going to put a permanent retainer on the bottom. And I didn't have braces as a kid. By the time I was able to get them, where I had some jaw issues, and by the time I was able to get them, I was 18. And as an 18-year-old, I think I was in high school still, a senior, I was like, no, I do not want braces. I have always looked super young, had this tiny little face. I was like, the last thing I want to do is look 13 when I'm in college. So I chose not to get braces, which I did end up later regretting, of course. But yeah, so when I finished my treatment for my Invisalign and they put the permanent retainer on, I hated it. When I went for my next cleaning, I told them I hated it. They said, give it a little bit more time. People get used to them. Well, I'm a year in and I still hate them. So I said, you know what? I'm 41 years old. I think that I don't have my entire adulthood for my teeth to shift. I just want a retainer to wear at night. And I have a retainer for up top, and I wear it religiously. I'm really good about it. Anyway, I'm going on Thursday to get new scans done and get just a nighttime retainer for my bottom, which is not cheap, but life is too short to be miserable with some metal contraption in your mouth that you just cannot get used to. So my daughter also has church camp next week from Tuesday to Friday. She's super excited. They have all sorts of themes for different days, and she's really excited about it. So I'm kind of excited to have a nice quiet week at home. Well, as quiet as it is with Mr. Reller here, but and also next weekend she has a volleyball tournament. That will be Saturday through Sunday, depending on how well their team does. Their team does really amazing some weeks and not so great other weeks. So I think it'll be interesting to see how well they do with the tournament and all of that extra pressure. So that's pretty exciting. It's just going to be a crazy busy week next week with that. And then my second cousin graduated from high school. So we have her graduation party. I'm super excited. My cousin group, we're all about the same age, and we used to be really good about going out a couple times a year with the adult cousins and, going and playing, doing bowling or going to a comedy show or something. We've kind of gotten out of that with, everybody's kids being in high school, and it's just being busy. So I'm excited to see all of my cousins and then all of my second cousins, all the kids. So it'll be a good time. It's just going to be a really absolutely crazy weekend. So it's also my mother's birthday on Saturday, which I neglected to put in here, but it'll be a good reason to even see her and the whole family for her birthday for the graduation party. So it's going to be one of those weekends. You guys know me. I like to have a day to just chill at home, and that's not going to be next week. It's fine. So I am currently looking at this week that I did not even hardly touch. I think I got one thing done, and it was just a fluke that it even got done. So I'm just going to transfer those over, and we're going to put our books in and wrap this up. Okay, so let's get this week stuff transferred over. I ended up getting myself really involved in a file reformatting project this week with our F marks, and changing a little something on every single file to make our lives make my life a little easier with running the F marks. So once I figured out this little trick, which I'm not going to share because it took me forever to figure out, and yeah, so I'm just getting that stuff transferred over so that I can hopefully redo last week this week. So social media is going in, so I do have this plan with me on Monday. The new releases on Tuesday, the non-kit new releases, which I filmed over a week ago. I even edited the video, and I never uploaded it because of this little F-mark project that I got myself into. So we're just doing that. I also need to publish August's Facebook freebie post next week, and I just can't even believe it's the end of the month already. Like this, where does the time go? My daughter and I have actually been doing her back to school shopping since she'll be in Florida the week before school starts. So we're trying to knock that out, but I still cannot believe it's almost back to school time. I'm excited and also really nervous for her. She's only going to know the people that she's met at church through the youth group for going into this high school. Even if she had gone to middle school at the public school system when we decided to homeschool her, that middle school feeds into a different high school, and like basically our street is the only one that goes from this particular middle school to this particular high school. It's the districting is really weird here in that respect, so she wouldn't know hardly anybody anyway, but this is going to be definitely interesting. Girls are just so mean, and I mean kids are mean in general, so I'm hoping that the transition is as easy as possible for her, because I'm definitely nervous for her. Of course, trying to play it cool to her face, but anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what's happening there. On other personal news, we are still moving forward with the lot purchase for the land. There was some sort of like little deed issue where somebody's wife's name, like the original owners, was missing from one of the deeds, because we're buying 2 lots, so they didn't match. So we're waiting on the original owner to send that correction over that includes his wife's name for that one lot, and then we should hopefully be closing in the next week or 2. So the electric issue has been pretty much addressed. We're not really sure how long it's going to take for them to run the electric lines all the way down the road, and we have to have the septic in first. So in the meantime, we're kind of looking into other options like solar panels and wind turbines and things like that to run our electricity. We don't need a ton of electricity down there. We're not like running dishwashers and washer and dryers and stuff like that, so we'll have heating and air. We will need to have internet. We will probably run a TV on occasion, which can be kind of a electric suck, but we'll kind of get there. So it's kind of fun to look into these other options. We just have to be conscious of budget. So while they're definitely cost effective in the long term, they're a little bit more of a investment initially, and I've mentioned it before, but we are a cash-based family. If we don't have the cash, we don't buy it. So we're kind of just educating ourselves and seeing what exactly we'll have left in the budget. So I went with some taller book stacks this week for my reading. Still reading. Some days I hardly read at all. Other days I knock 100 pages out. It just really depends on what's going on in life outside of work. So these are the little clipboards I found to add a little something to my to-dos, and I thought they were really cute. In hindsight, I would have put the to-dos further over to the left and done the clipboards a little more centered, but it works. Like I said, it was Friday afternoon, and I actually had my daughter there helping assemble deviant bags for the second day, so we're trying to stock up on those for the sale in August. So she was kind of ready to go, and I had promised her we would do a little more back to school shopping and hit up Ulta for her back to school makeup. Of course, that's the only place we had luck yesterday, honestly. So yeah, we're just getting the rest of the things in. I realized I forgot my currently reading on the sidebar. I'm hoping to finish my book this weekend, but I don't have my next book picked out yet, so I need to wait and see if I actually do finish that and what I'm going to read next. I always have to pick out the book that I'm going to read next before I finish my current book, so that I don't get like reading hangover and decision paralysis and not have something to read. I'm on 35 days of straight reading, so I kind of want to get that all situated and get my 365 days of straight reading. So yeah, that's it. I will see you guys next week.